there looks pretty bad.
Hey, how are you guys all doing out there? Welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be about reloading. All you reloaders out there. What I'm going to show you is the something you might need that would help you a lot. How many of you guys got Dillon 650 reloaders? You notice that the powder checker on there a lot of times gives you a lot of troubles. You know, where you can't get it set just right, or you do get it set right and you got different extruded powders and flake powders, and every time you get it set you run about 5 or 6 shells through there. First thing that happens, you hear beep, you know, and you say, oh, better check it. You check it and it's right on the money. Then you send another bunch through and it goes through fine. The little leveler goes right in the middle, and you get loading some more and it's working fine, and all of a sudden you get a beep again. So you check it again and it's off, or it's not off, but it's, you know, it's just right on the money, and you say to yourself, well, I wonder why it's doing that. Well, I think what's going on is that the way that plunger goes down inside the powder checker is just too thick and wide to go through the stem, because they give you different sizes, I believe, on that, and when it hits the powder it gets kind of stuck on the sides, and then it doesn't go down real nice and even. It sticks on the side and then it goes down, and it slams down on the powder. Well, when it slams down on the powder, it packs the powder, and then it gives you a false reading. You know, that's kind of what I think is happening. So what I did is I went out and did some checking and see if there was anything else out there other than the powder checker that Dillon puts out. And I found Hornaday's powder cop, it's called COP, and this is kind of unique, and it's really easy to use. All you gotta do is just you thread it in, not like a regular die, okay? You put it in your press where the powder checker goes, and then you screw it down, and there's a stem in here that goes up and down, and I'll show you it in action when I get my camera set up for the close-ups and that. And then I'm going to take this apart and reposition my zoom on the camera, because I'm shooting this all, you know, off a tripod. I don't have anybody to hold the camera. So I'll take this apart and then I'll show you the mechanism inside, what's going on. And by having a small stem, when it hits the powder and goes down, it has a tendency to read very accurate. And basically, remember, your powder checkers are only designed to do one thing. That's to show you, and I'm sure all you guys know it anyway, but I'm going to tell you because there's a lot of beginners out there. Powder checker, you don't rely on it for accuracy. You can only rely on it for powders that are overcharged by a half a grain, or maybe as high as 1 grain of powder. Or it'll go crazy and you got to double dump and it'll shoot the thing way up. You can tell that right away. So when an alarm goes off, you got to look at the shell, and then you can pretty much tell what's going on. You know, if you're overloaded or if you're, you know, what's going on. And the other way is that there's no charge at all. Then you're going to have a squib load, and you don't want those, because if you get them to shoot your pistol, the firing primer will launch the bullet into the barrel and it'll stick, and then the next fire round, the one that you fire, will probably blow your barrel up, or blow your gun up and you'll have a missing fingers. So you don't want to have a squib load, what they call squib load. So the way you prevent that is to have a powder checker, and I swear by them. And another way you could do it, like I do it, if you're doing with the Mr. Bullet Feeder, you can't put a powder checker in because there's no room. So what I use is a light, and I got a mirror, and the mirror shows a close-up of what's inside the shell. And that's kind of what I do for when I'm using the Mr. Bullet Feeder. Most of my stuff I can't use a bullet feeder because the bigger tips that you use on like 44 Magnums and all the big stuff, you can handle those tips pretty easily and put them on the shell, by hand pretty fast. The Mr. Bullet Feeder works really nice for small tips that you fumble with in your fingers, when you're grabbing them, putting them in, you fumble and it takes a lot longer. So the Mr. Bullet Feeder, to me, is a great help. 9mm, you can crank them out like, you could do like 1,000 rounds in an hour pretty easily. Because the faster you can pull the handle without, powder spillage, you can just go like crazy on there. But this is what I got on today. Another add-on you can buy. I think it's like 24 bucks. I'll put it in the description below. Give you the best price. There's a couple places, and I'll put that in there to give you an idea. Where you can get it. There's plenty of places to buy it. You can check the internet, and Midway is a good place. Check their site out, and you'll find it on there. RCBS has one also. It's real similar. They're pretty costly compared to the Hornady, and the Hornady works great. I don't have any problems with it. So let me show you what this thing looks like. I'm going to take it apart and show you close up inside. Okay, this is what it looks like. As you notice that you got two parts is all you got. And then you got a ring here that you use for adjustment for how deep you want it to go into the press. And then on this part here you got an O-ring that goes up and down on these little slots and grooves that are on this shaft. And then this little plunger hits the powder when it goes down and pushes the shaft up. You can set that ring right there to any spot you need depending upon what caliber you're using. So it's just a matter of threading this down wherever you need to be for that caliber. So it's like once you get the powder in, you got the right charge, you run it through your press and then adjust this so that you can get this shaft to go up and down within reason. And then when you get it within reason, then you start fine-tuning the die to where this white washer, you can just see it come up to the top where you're happy with it. And then when that white washer comes up to the top of the die, that's where you want it to be. Every time you pull the handle, you want it to go right at the edge of this die on the top. And then if you get an overload, it's going to shoot this shaft up higher, and you're going to see it. And if you don't see the shaft move, you may not have any powder in the shell at all. So that's how this works. Now I'll show it to you in action in the press. Okay, here we are. I'm going to put a charge in here now. Okay, the charge is in, and I didn't do anything to the adjustment on there. I got it close, and we're going to see what happens. I pull it up, and we got nothing, so we're not deep enough to even hit the powder yet. So I'm going to do some adjusting on there and get it to where it needs to be. Okay, I got it adjusted now, and you're going to watch this little pointer here. It's going to come up. You can see the movement, and a little white washer will be right flush with the die. So here we go. Pull the handle down. It's a little bit high. So basically all you're going to do is you're going to adjust this down a little bit so that that rubber white O-ring will be flush with the die. Or if you like it like this, it's fine too. But when you load, you want all your shells as you're going through to look the same. Now just remember now that this is just a checker for overloads and not having any powder in it at all. And this is pretty accurate. Once you get it set, it works the same every time. You don't have to put up with that buzzing from the Dillon and then constantly wondering what's going on. I know it's frustrating because you wonder if you got too much powder in, so you weigh it and all that. Most cases, that's not what's going on. What's happening is that plunger they give you is a little bit too thick, and it kind of rubs on the side, and then it slams down on the powder. Where this is a little small shaft, and it just touches powder and pushes that ram up. So I like this better. It's your choice what you want to use. You can go ahead and use the Dillon still. I'm not cutting them down or nothing like that. Just that I'm telling you what goes on with me, and it's a little frustrating. So I went and got this, and I like it. It works nice. And I'm kind of a gadget guy. I like to buy different things and try them out and see how they work. And like I said before, I don't even use a powder measure or a powder safe measure, checker, whatever you want to call it, for measurement. I've got a light system in my press to where I got a mirror that shows a nice, what's going on with the powder dump. So every time I pull the handle and I'm doing a lot of ammo real fast, I can watch what's going on. And then about every 20 or so, I'll check it on the scale, make sure everything's still going good. And I'll tell you what, once you get this cranked up on a 650 and you start doing pistol rounds, like stuff that's 4.2 grains of powder, even your 44s, they got, a lot more volume of powder. The Dillon powder dumper is pretty accurate, but it takes a little while to get it in tune, and once you start loading and you get the rhythm going, that powder seems to flow real nice. And I find out that ball powders always work the best. You always get the most accurate dumps out of ball powder. Extruded powders, you have a little bit of problem with that, and that's why I use the cam type powder dumper for doing extruded powders and flake powders, because they don't seem to go through the Dillon as good as it does with the cam with the RCBS. And you wonder, you watch this video, you wonder, well, what is he talking about, RCBS? You use the Dillon press. Well, if you go back in my gun stuff on my playlist, you'll see a video of another add-on for the Dillon. And what it is, it's just a simple adapter that goes on your powder dump die that allows you to screw on the RCBS powder dumper. And that works out pretty decent for extruded powders that are stubborn to go through the Dillon. And I find that the cam type dumper from the RCBS, the extruded powders, is very accurate. You're within 0.2 of a grain at the very worst. Now on the RCBS or the Dillon, on the extruded powder, when I'm doing rifle, I like to use extruded powder for that. I use Vita Vori, and that's extruded. It's N130, and that's all on my 223s. And that there, I'm pretty finicky on that. I like to have them pretty accurate because I go prairie dog hunting, and they got to be really accurate. So I make sure that everything's flowing really nice on that. So what I'll do there is I'll use the RCBS and dump them, and I'll check every 5 to make sure that they're going good. And it takes a long time to load up, you know, 2,000 rounds to go out to Montana and shoot prairie dogs, but you got all winter to do it, and it's no big deal. So I take a long time to do the 223s. But pistol, if you use ball powders, and you use whichever powder checker you use, you know, it's up to you, but I'm just showing you this because it is out there. You can buy this. You know, if you don't like the Dillons, you can get this. So I'm not trying to knock Dillon's powder checker, but I was just telling you what I think is going on with it, which causes it to always give you fluctuations in consistency. And this one here that I've got here is very consistent. It works pretty decent. So right now it's not flush what you're looking at, but all you have to do is just turn the dye down a little bit and you can get that out of there. Once you get that out of there, you're fine. So, okay, and then I'll give you an overlook of my RCBS, what it looks like on top of there. I don't think you can see it right now. So, okay, this is an overlook of what I've got right now for the RCBS. The RCBS cam dumper, instead of the bar going by, this is the cam. So what it does when you pull this down, it kind of shears the granulars that are in there. And for some reason it works a lot better. Gives you a more accurate dump on extruded powders. So here's the part that goes on top of the die, and then this screws into it. And yeah, just watch that other video I got on my playlist on gun stuff, and you'll see, you know, what I've got there. I go through the explaining of it. So folks, this is it. Just thought I'd give you a real quick overview on this and explain, you know, how this works. And I hope it helps you guys out. So you guys hit that like button and comment to me if you liked the video. I really appreciate it. It really helps my channel. And also hit that bell if you want to have notifications telling me that I got a new video out. I keep forgetting to say that all the time. If you hit that bell down below the video, it'll give you an opportunity to check mark on notifications if you want them every time I've come out with a new video. There's a lot of people don't know that. And I've been forgetting to say that all the time. So yeah, have a good day, and we'll see you in the next video. So thanks a lot for watching. Appreciate it. God bless.